The M240 Bravo machine gun is a belt-fed 7.62mm, air-cooled, gas-operated, fully automatic machine gun that fires from the open bolt position. It weighs 27.1 pounds. The cyclic rate of fire is 650 rounds per minute. The effective range is 1,800 meters with a maximum range of 3,725 meters.
How we doing, Marines? My name is Sergeant McDonald. I'm a combat instructor with the Machine Gun Weapon Instructor Group, Infantry Training Battalion, School of Infantry East. Today we're going to be covering a clearing, disassembly, reassembly, and functions check of the M240 Bravo medium machine gun. First thing you're going to do, you're going to clear it out. Put it in your shoulder, grab that cocking handle, you're going to pull it to the rear as high as you can. You're going to maintain positive control the entire time of that cocking handle when the bolt's to the rear. You're going to place the weapon on safe. You're going to put your head down and away. You're going to open that cover. You're going to sweep down the cover and out the feed tray, removing any ammunition that's on that feed tray. Once you do that, you can lift your head, lift the feed tray. You're going to stick your finger inside the chamber, sweep back to the face of the bolt, making sure that there's no rounds or ammunition inside that chamber. Once it's clear, you can go ahead and put it on fire, ride the bolt home, sound off clear. Clear! Then you can go ahead and do your disassembly. First thing you're going to do is you're going to do that buttstock. You're going to depress that buttstock latch. You depress it and lift up on the buttstock. Then you're going to hit out the trigger housing pin with the bottom of the buttstock. Then you're going to hit out the cover pin. Next, you're going to put the buttstock down. Then you're going to go inside and depress that driving spring rod and make sure it fully unseats out of the receiver. You're going to pull that trigger housing pin out, take the trigger housing group off, put it down, and you're going to grab that cocking handle. You're going to pull it to the rear as high as possible, removing that operating group from inside the receiver. Once you do that, you put the receiver down, pull the driving spring rod out of the operating group, grab your punch rod, punch out the bolt hinge pin. Once you do that, you can remove the bolt from the operating group. So after you remove the bolt, you're going to reach up and you're going to press the barrel locking latch to unlock that barrel. Once you depress the barrel locking latch, you can hit up on the carrying handle, unlock the barrel from the receiver, remove the barrel from the actual receiver. Next, you're going to put the gas regulator plug in the meaty portion of your palm. You're going to push down and towards you on the gas collar. Twist off, pull the gas regulator plug out, set it down. Next, take the cover off. You need to push forward on the back of the MDO to relieve the pressure between the cover and the feed tray and the receiver. Once you push forward, you can just pull the pin out, depress the cover latches on the cover, take the cover off, take the feed tray off, and that's fully disassembled. Now it's fully disassembled, I can go ahead and reassemble the weapon. I'm going to take that feed tray, I'm going to line up the feed tray guides with the holes in the receiver. I'm just going to set it in there. I'm going to grab the cover, I'm going to take this front portion, I'm going to lead it into where the feed tray guides are, tilt it down. Once it's down, I can just hammer fist it down and make sure it fully seats. I'm going to take that cover pin, I'm going to put it into the receiver from right to left. You put it in, and just hit it all the way and make sure it fully seats. Next, I'm going to move back to the barrel. Grab the gas regulator plug, gas collar, and the actual barrel. On the gas regulator plug, there's a little indent right here that matches up with a cutout on the actual gas regulator. I'm going to line it up, make sure it fully seats, put it back in the meaty portion of my hand. I'm going to take the gas collar, I'm going to line it up, I'm going to push down and away from me to lock it back on. Once it's locked on, I make sure the handle is fully in the upright position, make sure the receiver is covering the line. I'm going to slide it on and just push down on the handle, listening to clicks. Once it finishes clicking, that means the barrel is fully on the receiver. Next, I'm going to move back onto the operating group. I'm going to line up the firing pin with the hole in the back of the actual bolt and behind this part. I'm going to line it up, make sure it fully seats. I'm going to line up the holes on the actual operating group. I'm going to put the bolt hinge pin back in the bolt and the actual operating group. Next, I'm going to pick it up, put the driver spring rod back in. I'm going to leave my trigger finger underneath the bolt to make sure it stays fully unlocked as I'm putting it in the receiver. I'm going to take the operating group, put it in the bottom of the receiver. The bolt should line up with the top part. Once it gets in there, it should just slide forward. Then you push in on the driving spring rod, fully seating in the receiver. You grab your trigger housing group. The housing lug attaches to the front of the receiver right here. Make sure the housing lug lines up. Push up on the back, make sure it lines up with the holes. Take your trigger housing group pin, Make sure that you're doing it from right to left again. Put it in, make sure it fully seats. Grab your buttstock. The rails, line up the rails on the actual receiver. The hydraulic buffer is on the bottom and the actual buttstock latch is on the bottom. Line it up, push it down until it locks. Then once you're fully assembled, you need to do a function check to make sure the weapon is functioning properly. So you can grab that cocking handle palm up again, maintain positive control, pull the bolt to the rear as high as possible. You're gonna put the weapon on safe, attempt to fire. It should not fire. You're gonna put the weapon on fire, pull the trigger, ride the bolt home, it should fire. Now it is fully reassembled with a function check. Arm rings. Now you've seen what it looks like to clear, disassemble, reassemble, and do a function check for an M240 Bravo.